So I'm stuck in traffic and making like 5 of these vlogs, 5 or so. We'll see how many of these I get out. And I was just thinking of how ridiculous road rage is. You know, I just sat there with my signal on. So many people could have let me in. It wasn't like I was going to slow them down anyway. And at one point in life, man, I remember, boy, you know, I would have forced my way through. I would have been nasty. I would have been yelling. I would have been honking. And what purpose would that serve at all? What purpose would it serve in any way? Is this guy one in? I can't tell. Well, I'm sure trying to let him in. I can't. I think he's just driving on the line. Turn on your signal. See, you know, I'm gonna let somebody in if they need in too. It's not gonna change the amount of time it takes me to get anywhere. So, you know, I have definitely realized that there are so many things in life that we can get upset over, and it's absolutely pointless to do so. Absolutely pointless. Things that we can stress over, and it doesn't matter. And, you know, I've worked in the food service industry off and on a lot, which has allowed me to travel, to live and work in some of the coolest places, because the tourist industry happens to be real poppin' in places that I wanted to go. And I kind of came to this realization. At one point, you know, I'd get so anxious because, you know, you can make some really good money waiting tables and bartending. But you're never going to have everything under control when it's really going. When you make the best money, there's more than you can handle. And there's going to be a lot of things that come up, especially within the team. Somebody else doesn't pull their weight, ball gets dropped somewhere, and you end up with even more than you can handle. But at the end of the day, what's the worst thing that happens? Somebody waits a little bit too long for their sandwich or their beer. You mess up an order or something. It's not like anything that actually matters is going to happen. And I was working one of the coolest, most fun jobs ever. I was out on the central coast of California at a restaurant made out of an Airstream, an old camper, on the pier in Pismo Beach. Coolest place you could be, central coast of California, amazing. And I ended up in a situation where a lot of times I had way more than I could manage on my hands. And I just came to the realization, like, I'm not getting fired. I'm showing up on time and doing my job. It's not like anybody thinks I can do more than I can do. Nobody's mad at me. So I'm just going to quit caring altogether when it gets like this. And what happened? I got through everything, got my tips, made it through the shift, night ended. The only difference was I wasn't stressed anymore. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't getting frustrated. The customers were getting served, you know, in the same amount of time, but they got served with probably a little bit better disposition. They probably had a little bit more fun because I wasn't stressing. And, you know, when you get in a road rage situation, it's like, what is the point? I'm getting from point A to point B. Maybe I get slowed down by a matter of seconds because somebody forced their way into the lane or wouldn't let me in or whatever. Who cares? There are things in life that are worth putting our time and energy into. And usually stress, anger, and anxiety over almost anything are not worth what we have to put into them. So, am I perfect about this yet? No, but I sure am getting better and better and better about not stressing, about not getting angry, anxious, or frustrated, and just recognizing, you know, what is, it is what it is. What'll be will be. And then you're going to get on to the next thing. And almost nothing truly matters. Almost everything's going to work out. Yet, we're pretty much trained into a constant state of anxiety. Like everything's the end of the world. It's always such a big deal. Now, this. Oh, things aren't going to work. Doesn't matter. So, next time you're feeling stressed, anxious, frustrated, overwhelmed, shrug your shoulders. Doesn't matter. You're going to be all right. You get past whatever the issue is, then you'll take care of the next part of it, get past that, And then the sun's going to go down. You're going to go to sleep. The sun's going to come up. Life will go on. If you're in the middle of a big extended project, maybe it'll last for weeks, months, or years. And eventually you're going to get past it. And during that time, you can't get that time back. The time's going to pass anyways. Would you rather be calm, cool, collected, and grateful to be alive, grateful for the ability to wake up and walk and see and have your family and your health? Or would you rather spend all your time and energy being anxious and frustrated about old Jill over there that never gets her TPS report in on time, or the stupid road construction that makes it impossible to get from one meeting to the next, or you got to leave 20 minutes early or you're going to be late? Or, there's just so many things that people will experience the same anxiety as like a soldier in trench warfare. Your body doesn't know the difference between the anxiety of being freaked out about being late to a meeting versus being freaked out about bullets flying by you. Your body just feels anxiety. That's it. So there's people in the world that have real problems. And I'm not saying that you don't have problems. And I'm not saying that I don't have problems. But there's people in the world with problems that make our lives look like an absolute vacation. So quit stressing over things that aren't worth stressing over, because the sun's still going to rise tomorrow.